We are going to go now back to Washington to see more on the final plan from the president's fiscal commission. Bloomberg's chief Washington correspondent Peter Cook just spoke to the two men behind the plan up on Capitol Hill. Peter?
Cook here on Capitol Hill with Erskine Bowles and Alan Simpson, the co-chairs of the President's Deficit Commission. Thanks to both of you for being here. Let me start with you, Senator Simpson. Sure. If your plan or something like it isn't adopted, what's going to happen?
Well, we're sure going to answer that. He's got beautiful alliterative things about cancer, and let me tell you, going to be in deep trouble. This country, the trajectory of debt, deficit, and interest will match, except bigger figures, will match any trajectory of Greece, Spain, Portugal, Ireland, or Italy. That's where we're headed. And when that happens, it isn't 6 months of, a slippery slope. It's off the cliff. The bond issues, the bond calling. He knows this game. It's chaos.
You do know this game. You know the finance side of this. The bond vigilantes aren't out there right now, but they're lurking, right?
You know why? Because we're the best-looking horse in the glue factory today. That's why. When people understand that America may not step up to this problem, if they come to that conclusion, then their action will be swift, and it will be decisive, and it will be painful. I think we're going to step up to this problem. I think the American people get it. I think these guys in Washington are going to get it. And I think the era of deficit denial is absolutely over.
What about the vote total here? Of course, this plan needs 14 of 18 commissioners to be automatically trigger consideration by Congress. Wasn't clear today. You're going to get there.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. And we are not going around pleading for votes either. We wanted to have a plan out here that was real, that was substantive, and that really would make a difference and solve this problem. We got 7 people to step up today and say yes. 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, 1 independent, the head of a budget committee, the ranking member on the budget committee. I am proud of where we are. Those are the guys that know the most about the numbers up here. We're going to get this done, and we're going to get it done because the American people are demanding that we face up to this cancer that's going to destroy our country from within.
Does the vote total matter, or simply is the hard work done?
No, because let's say this. The 3 Republicans from the House will likely vote against this for reasons that are very valid to them. And guess what? One will be the chairman of the Ways and Means, one will be the chairman of the Budget Committee, and Jeff will be the third ranking member. And Paul Ryan has already said, I'm going to take about 80 to 85% of this and throw it into the House budget. Well, that's better than any kind of voting. It doesn't mean the other stuff is nothing if you do that.
So you got Paul Ryan putting 80 to 85% in his budget. You got Kent Conrad and the ranking member of the Senate Budget Committee voting for it already. That means we're going to make a difference here. This little commission has been able to wake America up to the dangers of this deficit.
Let me ask you about some of the pain that is in this plan and the mortgage interest deduction, all those tax breaks that Americans enjoy right now. In this plan, you're essentially calling for a lot of those to fall by the wayside, right?
We are. We have $1.1 trillion worth of tax earmarks of spending in the tax code. We're going to get rid of those. And, people up here talk about getting rid of $16 billion of earmarks in the appropriations. We're spending $1.1 trillion on spending in the tax code. But when you get rid of them, you can take rates. You can take your tax rates down to 8% up to $70,000, 14% up to $210,000, and 23% above that. You can take the corporate rate down to 26%. America will be the best place to start and own a business. It just makes sense. People love it when they hear about it. If you just hear about getting rid of the deductions, sure, I don't want to get rid of them. But if they can take the rates down to 8, 14, and 23, hallelujah.
Hallelujah, not exactly the word a lot of folks are using here on Capitol Hill to describe this plan right now. There's a lot of pain here, not only for individuals, but of course, companies would face some loss of tax breaks as well. Matt and Carol, the vote total right now, 7 in favor, 1 clearly opposed on this panel, and 10 to be determined. And we'll know on Friday exactly whether or not they've gotten the 14 votes they need to send this plan on to Congress.
You know what strikes me, Peter, in your conversation, I think you asked former Senator Alan Simpson, if they don't get the votes, then what happens? Does this just fall apart, or does the process start all over again? I feel like we're not getting a clear answer on that.
Well, I think the answer that they've given us and what they've suggested all along is that the plan matters more than the vote. If they have a good plan, there are aspects of it that people here on Capitol Hill, important, powerful people, like some of the people they mentioned who are part of the commission, then they can run with those ideas and include that in some sort of package. But whatever the ultimate solution is, they firmly believe it's going to look a lot like this. And this is the starting point for the conversation. The question is it the ending point? Right now, that doesn't look likely.
Although, Peter, I'm sure they would say themselves as well, the likelihood of that mortgage interest deduction going away and those $1.1 trillion in tax deductions coming back to the government in revenue is very low.
I think they would probably agree with you on that up to a point, Matt. What they've suggested, what most people are talking about here is the mortgage interest deduction, given its popularity, is likely going to stay, but it's going to be curbed significantly. You can't get it for a second house, maybe mortgages only up to $500,000 a year. There will be changes there. The government needs that revenue. And, Carol and Matt, those are some of the tough choices that are still ahead.
Yeah, a lot of tough choices. Hey, Peter, thank you so much. Our Peter Cook there in D.C.